Well, now we can
Yep.
call our meeting to order. Welcome to all of us for being here. I'd ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Shirley, would you take roll call, please?
Mayor Hammond.
Here.
Larry Lambert.
Here.
Mike Connell.
We have an excuse for Mike, let us know.
Bob Porter.
Here.
Mindy Galvey. Here. Kamal Ghazi.
Here.
Kristen Beal.
Here. Thank you. Looking for approval of our agenda for tonight.
I move that we adopt the agenda as printed.
Second.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Looking for reading and approval of the minutes of our July 17th meeting.
I move this. Go for it. Go for it.
I move that we suspend the rules, waive the reading, and approve the minutes from July 17, 2025 regular meeting.
Second.
We have a motion from Mindy, seconded by Larry. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. We were going to have a pre-approved report tonight by Jamie Crowley from the library.
Next week.
Oh, the next meeting.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wrote that down for
That's okay.
tonight.
That's all right.
That's okay. Evidently, we don't have any other pre-approved reports, unless you've got one, Dennis. No, not from you. Okay. No public comment then either, unless Dennis has something to say. Communications, Shirley.
Yes. My only communications is that unless they cancel it, the Historical Society will have their August 16th, or on August 16th, their farmer's market. I do just want to pass around the Black Rock monthly, this is the monthly statistics or help desk tickets, and this is the quarterly. So you guys can just see what they send us every month and every quarter. And if you want to take a look at it, fine, and if not, I noticed toward late day, the one for July, I just forgot to print it, but they're all pretty much the same, so. And it's nice to know how much we're using them, and, it gives today I received a call from Dexter, the city? Dexter.
There is a city of Dexter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted if I would give a reference, and they asked me some questions, and I just said, yes, 100%, 1,000% yes. So they're great. So
Good.
thank you.
Good, good, good.
I know that somebody goes do the training.
I'm so
Is that
sorry.
Yeah.
It's in
Have you
there.
done it?
I tried.
I've not done that at all, so
I do my
it's your
work.
I was like,
Fine,
just
fine.
thinking you were Monday show.
Don't click on this email,
Sorry
don't.
about that.
Right.
Anyway,
Yeah, well, I hear Sue doing them all the time, and I know that everybody else has, and I
I
just
can't
have
get them
not
to
had
work.
time.
I've tried 2 or 3 times.
Oh, well, email them, the support.
Yeah, I got 5 minutes, I'm looking at my, so I'll try this. No, all right, sorry.
All right, well, they will help you if you need help, so.
Maybe in my slow time I'll do that.
Any other communications?
It's not communications, I was just gonna
Okay.
report the zoning stuff, but I can do that during the.
Okay, well, we'll back up, since I just saw Mr. Shepherd come in, and we went past the pre-approved reports. Did you have a report for us? Matt?
Just real quick.
Yeah, go right ahead.
As you all know, county approved the towing package for All-Star, Rick Oakey's operation for towing for the whole county. Gary Holzhausen and myself disapproved of it. We wanted to keep a rotation going for the county, and the others saw other ways. I don't think that's right, because we could lose some businesses in the county that way. Now, on a positive note, you do not have to towed by Rick Gokey's All-Star. You can choose whoever you want. So if you're in an accident and you're cognizant, you may request someone else tow your vehicle. There's many other companies within the county. Joe's Auto Body Shop here, Gaffner, Brown's over in Durand. There's another one in Durand, I can't remember what the name is. Dick Mauer up in Owasso. And some others, but just look at it. They're offering right now, all these other companies, 10% off as well, so that's a bonus to the residents of the county too. In the contract negotiations, they said some tolling charges could be reduced by 25%, but they didn't indicate which parts of the tolling. I don't know if it's impound or if it's just hookup fees or what it is. It wasn't made specific. Another major thing that's going on in Michigan is called Axe My Tax, which will reduce, eliminate taxes. James Hewlett and myself were covering Perry and Morris. Chris Unger is covering over in Woodhull area. So if you want, you can sign the petition. It'll eliminate property taxes completely if we vote on it next year. And to vote on it, we've got to get it on the ballot as a say of the people, yes or no. That's it.
Any questions for Commissioner? I guess we're set.
What do they plan to do in place of that?
Well, there's instituted amounts that we allocate to the state, and we need to get more of it back in our local communities for the sales tax, the marijuana tax. I heard a rumor that $80 million of the marijuana tax came up missing. And there's some investigations on that, as well as the MEDC grants that they've been approving to friends of different people in the state government. There's something else on that. But if you want, you can look at it through Axe My Tax, AXMITAX.org. It's also on Facebook, Axe My Tax on the Road. If you want to get involved, we can get petitions to you. Anything else? We've got meetings next week if you're interested, Monday through Wednesday at the county. I'm not sure what's on their agenda yet. I don't get that until this Friday.
Anyone else? Questions?
There are also talks of the Cook family doing a recycling program. Langsburg has an outstanding program already. We had years ago a recycling set up in Owasso, but they put him out of business for whatever reason. I don't know. Myself, I take all my recycling over to Granger. It's easy. They've got separate containers for metal, glass, and plastic, and a special container for milk jugs. So we can just move it to where it needs to be recycled from there. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then we're now back down to department head reports. Shirley, you had something?
I did. I was just going to report on the quarterly permits that we've received. Let's see, we have, I'll just read them out. One pool permit, one chicken permit, one rezoning permit, which you guys ended up approving, one deck, 5 driveway sidewalk permits, 2 new home permits, 4 fence, 1 patio, 4 sheds, 1 sign permit, 2 special land use, or 2 special site, or spit it out, 2 site plan review permits, And one of those has been rescinded, so they're not gonna move forward with that. The other one was just approved at the planning commission on Monday, so, so that's zoning. Building looks like 9 plumbing, 12 mechanical, 5 electrical, 2 new housing, obviously, because that was in the zoning. 1 salt barn, that was DPW, and 10 just miscellaneous building permits for just like, just miscellaneous, whatever they said they were doing, it could be re-roofing, siding, something like that, so that's just where we're at with permits.
Very good, thank you.
Mhm.
I'll just say that National Night Out was well attended, or it appeared to be. I know that we did 191 hot dogs, handed those out, but they were also handing out other things that I just don't have numbers on those. I would say, just based on what we saw in attendance at the Parks Night, the Family Fun Night, we had maybe half of that. But of course, we didn't have water spraying and foam things for the kids to go in. Although the fire department did a demonstration on how they put a fire out when a car catches fire. There was one of those blow-up houses with lots of different things for the kids to do, and that was very busy, kids and adults, with that. So it was very well attended, and all of our officers were there, fire department, ambulance, lots of people from our emergency services. And I saw a lot of conversations going on, a lot of interactions, so that was very nice. Do we have any committee reports tonight? No. Presentation and approval of the bills.
I move that we approve the bill as presented and that the payment be authorized.
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Moving then on to our old business. Looking at the information we received from the Rockfish Foundation, they are requesting that we recognize them as a nonprofit organization, and we have quite a bit of information from them. I think Shirley can answer questions if you have any, because she's talked with different people about this stuff.
I went on Lara, I think I had this information for you last time, but they are currently registered with the state under Lara, under the corporate, as a domestic nonprofit. Their filing year begins October, so they'll renew that in October. So 2024 is the most current we have, because his report's not due until October. I did go on the IRS website. I think I emailed you guys the Form 990N, the e-postcard. So they report online. Does not have a form to supply me because they do it all online. I'm assuming it's just not printing it, but they have reported up through last year, 2024. So that's the receipt saying that they've reported, and you can see that they have reported every year. This is what you get when you have gross receipts under $50,000. So I think recognizing them this is the most we're going to get. I don't know if we're necessarily going to get anything more than this. The other thing he did send me, I didn't send it to you guys, was just, it was a resolution acknowledging them from, I think, like Eaton County or something like that, or somewhere around in that area. So I did see one but it was from a long time ago. He just sent me that
Hazlet.
as an example.
Is it Hazlet?
No, that was that's where he used to live, was there in Hazlet. Let me see if I have that. Just tell you where it was. I should have that, but I have a lot of papers here, so it's, oh, right here. It was from, Delhi Township, Charter Township of Delhi. So, but it was from 2015 is when they recognized him, so. And that's all this is doing, is just recognizing them. It's not saying, yes, you can have something here, whatever. It's just saying you're acknowledging them as if,
Then they are.
as a nonprofit, yeah.
My only concern was it still valid? And you answered that, and yes, they are still being recognized by the state as a valid 501c3.
Yep.
Any more discussion regarding this matter? If not, I'm looking for a motion.
I move that we approve,
Okay.
that we recognize, okay, sorry. I move that Rockfish Foundation of Perry, Michigan, County, Shiawassee, asking that they are recognized as a nonprofit organization operating as a 501c3 in the community for the purpose of holding festivals and making donations to the community be considered for approval.
A second?
We have a motion from Kamal, seconded by Larry. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Moving into new business, we were going to talk about dates for our fall cleanup. And Shirley, I'll let you.
Yep, so I talked to John about this, and he is suggesting that we just have 2 days, October 7th and then October 8th. And October 8th, he said he would be good to stay open until 5 o'clock. He told me, I think it was yesterday, that he is a little concerned about having a second cleanup, because what if in the spring we use all 12 containers next year, and then residents are expecting a fall cleanup and we won't be able to do it. So that's his only concern. But if we have them this year, we can do it and see what happens next year.
What does that mean? Would you repeat that part
The
again?
what?
That he is concerned, what's he concerned about?
So we received 12
Yep.
dumpsters, big dumpsters, gondolas from Waste Management for for spring cleanup in May.
Absolutely.
And then we used 6 of them this year.
Yes.
And so we have 6 that we can still use. Waste
Uh-huh.
Management said that they would still provide those for us. So John's only concern is that if we say we provide 6 in the fall this year, but
Mhm.
then next year we have 6 dumpsters, or we have 12 dumpsters, and we use all 12 dumpsters, then we wouldn't be able to provide the service in the fall, because we only get 12 dumpsters.
Yeah.
As part of our fee that we pay
Yeah.
in Granger, if I remember right,
Oh, Waste Management.
or Waste Management, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So really, by utilizing them and offering it again,
Yeah.
we're being good stewards of the money we're spending anyways.
Yes.
If we
Right.
don't have it available next year, then
You just
don't
don't
have
if
do
we
it.
don't have them, we won't have them.
Yeah.
That's, I mean,
We
I
will-
get his point, that that's a valid, concern, but
But I think the other option would be that we just say we're done when we've filled up 6 or 8 in the spring. If the fall is well received and it looks like people are gonna want that twice a year, then we'll just,
Do
when
6.
6 or 8 are full, we're done, that's all there is. And then we
Do it in the
use the
fall.
rest
Yeah,
of them
we
in the
can
fall.
That's a good idea,
Sure.
yeah, that's a really good
Yeah.
idea too.
Just limit.
So we can just apportion it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if it's staffing, because I don't know if he's approaching it from staffing or truly like, is he concerned that we're setting a precedent for the future? If it's staffing, that's a different conversation. But if it's like a precedent, we're operating within the same.
I don't think staffing had anything to do with it. They're
Okay.
here anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what time do they normally leave if they're gonna stay open till 5?
They leave at 3:30.
And they just have, I think, just one person stays,
Yeah,
so
one.
they can check their ID
Just try to make
for,
certain that it is
for that 2.5
city-only
hours.
Mhm.
Yeah.
people.
Well, I'm just thinking, you know, if folks wanted to utilize that after work, I mean,
Well, for the spring, we only did one night, one evening, the Wednesday. Well, we did it for 2 weeks though, so it was 2 evenings where we were open in the evening. The rest of the time it was during the day when the DPW guys were here anyway.
all right.
They seem to find a way to get it there.
Yeah. I think we just go for it,
Yeah.
do the 2
Okay.
days and
We'll try
Yeah.
it. Okay,
see how many of them we fill.
okay, all right.
So we'll get that on the schedule?
Yep.
Mhm.
I will let police manager know, and we'll get it scheduled and have them get those delivered in October, which is around the corner.
Maybe just jot a note somewhere, so when we're talking about it in the spring, we remember
Yes.
that we want to limit it to a certain number.
Yep, I will do that.
Okay, now we're going to turn this over to the ordinance committee, Larry, and do some reading.
Okay, there's a number of minor ordinance revisions that we'll go over here this evening. And for the most part, they're some enhancements to ordinances that we've already talked about in the past. But as we go through them, I'll try to explain what were the drivers behind the recommendations that the ordinance committee is bringing forward. The first one basically is going to deal with the ordinance enforcement ordinance specifically, and it really is just to provide a little additional latitude for the enforcement officers as it comes to notifying people of potential alleged violations. Before I start reading, does anybody have any specific questions? I move that ordinance amendment 400, chapter 200, codified ordinances, section 202.99, enforcement, areas highlighted in yellow, which will be read as follows, be placed on the next agenda for adoption. Under section B, procedure to enforce codified ordinance violations. Point 1, initial identification of an ordinance violation. The authorized local official may meet with individuals responsible for the violation of the ordinance to educate them and inform them of the infraction. If deemed appropriate by the authorized local official, he or she may notify the individuals of the ordinance infraction by regular first-class mail. The alleged violator shall have a minimum of 3 business days to take corrective action, evidenced in writing with agreement with the authorized local official to correct the alleged violation. 2, a written notice. If the violation is not addressed based on the initial communication, the authorized local official, except as provided in paragraph 3 below, the authorized local official will document the situation using an ordinance violation notification form approved by Perry City Council, and at the official's discretion, present or send by regular first-class mail a copy to the individual responsible for the infraction. If the individual or individuals responsible are not the property owners of record, a copy will also be mailed by regular first-class mail to the owner. The notification shall specify the violation and provide that the violation must be addressed within 5 business days after receipt of notification, or a municipal civil infraction citation may be issued. And we're going to move through a significant portion that there is no recommendation for change, and get to point 6. Municipal civil infraction citations shall be served by an authorized city official as follows. except as otherwise provided below, the authorized local officials will personally serve the citation upon the alleged violator. That constitutes the recommended revisions. Basically, it's, to summarize, it's changing the word shall to may to give the ordinance enforcement officer or any other, the police or whatever, the latitude to communicate by mail if appropriate. However, if we get to a citation level, it does require face-to-face presentation of the citation, which is basically what we have in the ordinance today.
I'll second.
So we have a motion from Larry, a second from Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed, nay. Motion passes. So this ordinance that Larry just read, the changes will be placed on the agenda for our next meeting for acceptance.
Okay, moving on. The next one basically is just a slight clarification to the Perry zoning ordinance enforcement activities. And basically, it will say, I move that zoning ordinance amendment 401, chapter 17, administration and enforcement, section 1701, administration and enforcement, which reads as follows, be placed on the next agenda for adoption. The City of Perry ordains, City of Perry zoning ordinance, chapter 17, section 17.01, administration and enforcement is hereby amended as follows. Section 17.01, administration and enforcement. Administrative officials known as the zoning administrator and ordinance enforcement officer, OEO, shall be designated by the city council to administer and enforce this ordinance. The administrator and OEO may be provided with the assistance of other city personnel as required. If the zoning administrator or OEO shall find that any provision of this ordinance is being violated, he or she shall notify the person responsible for violations, indicating the nature of the violation and ordering the action necessary to correct it. He or she shall order discontinuance of any illegal use of land, buildings, or structures, removal of any illegal buildings or structures, or of illegal additions, alterations, or structural changes, discontinuance of any illegal work being done, or shall take any other action authorized by this ordinance to ensure compliance with or to prevent violation of its provisions. This notification shall be conducted as defined in the city's codified ordinance, chapter 202.99.
Looking for a second?
Second.
We have a motion from Larry, seconded by Mindy. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay. Motion passes.
And once again, this is just basically trying to tie the zoning compliance activity to our other ordinance enforcement activities. Okay, moving on, the next one is coming forward based on some issues that our ordinance enforcement officer ran into as it regards junk vehicles. And this is an attempt to bring up to date with the ordinance and actual activities as they're intended to occur currently. It was basically hadn't been addressed by the ordinance committee previously and was we found it to be quite outdated. I move the ordinance amendment 402, chapter 696, junk motor vehicles, sections 696.08, removal of junk vehicles from private premises, public premises, and street right-of-way, which reads as follows, be placed on the next agenda for adoption. City of Perry Ordinance Chapter 696, Junk Motor Vehicles, Section 696.08, removal of junk vehicles from private premises, public premises, and street right-of-ways is hereby amended as follows. Chapter 696, Section 696.08, removal of junk vehicles from private premises, public premises, and streets right-of-way. Point A, whenever an authorized city official finds junk motor vehicles on private premises, public premises, or street right-of-way within the city is in violation of this chapter, the authorized city official shall cause a notice to be placed upon the vehicle in substantially the following form. Notice to the owners and all persons interested in the attached property. This property, to wit, described property located on the property is deemed a junk motor vehicle. A junk motor vehicle is defined but not limited to partially dismantled vehicles, missing vehicle parts, wrecked or inoperative vehicles, flat tire, used for storage, or absence of a current license plate shall prima facie evidence that a vehicle is a junk motor vehicle, which is deemed improperly stored in violation of the Perry City Code. The described junk motor vehicle must be removed within 5 days from the date of this notice. And you'll see that we're striking or propose to strike a number of lines that are currently in the ordinance today. Moving on to point B, such ordinance shall be such notice shall not be less than 8 inches by 10 inches and shall be sufficiently weatherproof to withstand normal exposure to the elements. In addition to posting, the authorized city officials shall proceed with the city's ordinance enforcement process as defined in Chapter 202.99. All costs incurred by the city for removal of junk vehicles shall be the responsibility of the property owner. And the balance of that ordinance basically is proposed to be repealed.
Can I ask why we don't want to do it in writing anymore?
Pardon?
What is the problem with sending a written notice? Because you're striking out basically, it's all, they put a notice on the, whatever they find. And then we used to be able to,
No, you can mail it. He
It
just read
says-
that. In addition to posting, the authorized city
But
official
it's-
shall,
described junk motor vehicle must
Proceed
be
with-
removed within 5 days. Date of this notice. And then you used to be able to, they want to strike, a hearing requested in writing within the period of city. That's all stricken out, so.
Bob, up here in B, it says, in addition to posting, the authorized city official shall, and then it jumps down to the red part, proceed with the city's ordinance enforcement process, which is defined in 202.99, and that's sending a letter.
That involves what we talked
So
about.
you're eliminating, that's why, because these are all stricken out, so they used
But it's-
to have in here.
This is where it says you send a letter. I'm just trying to answer your
I
question.
understand that, but why can't, this had,
We don't need to say it twice.
this had the ability of the person to ask for a hearing, what did it say? A hearing request in writing, so they're asking for,
We are saying that there would not be a hearing request. The old ordinance allowed the alleged violator to ask for a hearing of the city council.
correct.
And we're saying that that is not, recommending that that's not the action we would pursue.
But why? I'm asking why. I don't see why someone can't come in and ask. I'm just asking for clarification.
Because
What has come about that we don't need that anymore?
we're trying to treat a junk vehicle like any other nuisance situation. If we've got a nuisance ordinance right now on the books in action, that if somebody's got junk all over their yard, not a vehicle, but other unacceptable items on their porch, in their yard, whatever, we follow the ordinance enforcement process that we've been through and just, tweaked a little bit, or proposing tweaking a little bit. We're trying to say that a junk motor vehicle, with the exception of a sign on the vehicle itself, should be treated in the same fashion as any other ordinance
Any other
violation.
junk ordinance,
Exactly.
okay. I'm just trying to clarify, I'm not necessarily against or opposed, I'm just trying to make sure I understand.
Just trying to treat it like I said, like
Yeah,
other nuisance violations or alleged violations.
Are we having a problem with, people not removing junk vehicles when we see them, or is there?
There was an issue, and I'm not in a position to speak to all the
I
details.
don't need all the
There was an
details.
issue that the ordinance enforcement officer hadn't followed the old procedure to the letter of the law. And so we're saying that he went ahead and did get it posted on the vehicle and managed to walk through effectively and get the issue addressed. But we said, having been through that one time, the ordinance committee is recommending that let's clean up and get the ordinance stating what we would like the enforcement officer to do and expect that the alleged violator would do.
Okay.
I have a question that will steer us away from this topic. What, like, let's say someone's parking, let's say they have a big driveway. They park a junk vehicle or whatever that definition is in there. Why is the city so offended about it? And I know it's a strange question to ask, but if it's on a private property, why are we interfering? Regardless of the definition.
Yeah, we're trying to make every effort,
Uh-huh.
if you will, to get the city residents' property as appealing as possible to the other residents in the community. You know, if you have an abandoned vehicle, whether it's on somebody's driveway or not, it's typically not very sightly. It can lead to, you know, critters living in it, who knows what may be going on. It's just like the question could be, why if somebody's got an old, decayed couch or weathered couch on their front porch, why is that not acceptable since it's on their front porch? And that's basically the same situation that we have with a vehicle, a junk vehicle in somebody's driveway.
Coming out of a real estate background too, Kamal, I can speak to the fact that it does make it difficult for somebody to be able to sell their house for the best value that they can get from it if the neighbors aren't supportive of that value. If the appearance of the neighbors pulls the value down, that's too bad. So we're trying to help people be able to maintain their value of their homes, and the appearance does.
And I actually did hear that this week.
Did you?
Yep. Of a particular house being for sale, and then they saw the neighbor's unsightly backyard and decided not to purchase the house.
Not to make a joke about it, but you know that commercial on TV where the people are having food in the boxes and they're eating their lunch while they're moving in, and the goats are next door going, "Ah!" Yeah, you should, it does, it impacts value.
Plus the animal situation, bees and any number of things
Yeah,
that take up
that-
residence in there.
My last question, this is just, it's a slippery slope, because who's gonna determine that it's deemed it to be a junk vehicle?
I think
If
it
it has a
spells
plate,
it out
if it
here.
has a plate, well, it says,
It says flat tires.
not limited to,
I mean,
It's the same
So-
discussion, Bob, that we had in here previously on what is a nuisance, whether it's a
Right.
couch or whatever. It's really left to the discretion of the ordinance enforcement officer trying to,
the issue, and you're gonna have that human discretion, right? You have to, not gonna avoid it. The only issue I see, or possible issue I could see, is if they don't like you, they're gonna pick on you, right? Or possibly, not will.
I would hope
Yeah.
not, but.
I would hope not, but I think it's could happen. So,
Again, I would
Just-
hope not.
words mean something though. So
I
we
would,
have to
I
be
would think
careful.
if we were,
I'm
if it
all
was
for.
reported to us, we would not have that ordinance enforcement officer on our staff any longer. I won't tolerate that.
Well,
That position serves at the pleasure of the council. And if somebody's gonna do one thing for this person and something else for somebody else, that's not who we want for an ordinance
okay,
enforcement
as
officer.
long as we are across the board, I think that we have been in the past, selective in what we enforce and what we don't enforce. Some of that is just, you see one thing, I see something else. It's just gonna be, you're gonna get two different opinions, right? I don't
And
think
are you
that's
saying
right.
that was before our OEO was hired?
I'm just saying that we have, I feel that we have different standards for different things. It's not across the board the same thing. We have nuisance, the furniture on the front porch, junk cars. But I can point out several houses that haven't been repaired since the tornado, and we haven't done anything, it doesn't appear to do anything about those. There's houses that aren't kept up, like you said, like, selling. So we need, if we're gonna do this, then we need to be equal across the board.
And I think that's what these changes are trying to help accomplish. I do.
I know, but you don't take my questioning as an affront. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to, the only way I've ever been able to teach anybody anything or get a point across is I ask stupid questions, right? Is that how you really would do this? It's how I teach people how to do whatever they're doing, okay? Make them make the decision, not me. If I just do it for you, you're not gonna learn, right? So who's gonna make this decision just because maybe it has a flat tire? Well, if it had a flat tire for 2 years, okay. But if it's got a license plate on it that's valid, and maybe it doesn't start right up, they have to jump it and it starts, is that a junk vehicle?
I don't think you find, I can't speak for our ordinance enforcement officer, but I do not think that he would consider that a junk vehicle.
Okay, because he may not, but the next one might, or, that's all.
I
It's
feel like that this
hard thing to
clarifies
clarify.
that what a junk vehicle is. I don't think there's a question about what is a junk vehicle. Does it start?
Well, I think
Does it
could be,
tires?
I think it could be.
Well, I wouldn't call it junk if it starts. If you can drive it,
But what if
It's
it
not
looks,
junk.
what if it's all rusty, but it still starts and rolls?
Well, I think that it needs to
So
be
that's,
registered title.
Legally.
We have to have license plates on it.
I don't just.
I can plate a rusty car.
Yeah.
What?
Well, yeah.
So I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just trying to think it through, because you may look at something and say, oh, that's fine. And the next person will look at it and say, that's a junk vehicle, right? It's the same thing.
And that speaks
No,
to the
it's
same
not.
thing,
It
whether
looks
it's a
like
junk
junk.
vehicle, whether it's a couch on the porch, whether it's a pile of lumber that's, scattered about the yard, all of that is, subject to some level of enforcement officer interpretation. And that's the reason I believe that our overall enforcement process has in it the checks and balances that if there's an issue or a question about an alleged violation, whether it's a junk vehicle, whether it's, debris in the yard, there's two-way communication that's gonna occur between the alleged violator and our enforcement officer to try to reach an acceptable resolution.
It doesn't say it looks like junk.
No, that's what
It doesn't say
it
looks
is.
like junk.
No, it
It
doesn't.
says, it clarifies, show me what it says.
Hold on, I have to find it again,
Okay.
because that's right away. Where was it?
And there's lots of stuff that look like junk.
Yes.
And
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't find it.
it's still usable and is used.
Not the violation, said something about flat tires.
Yeah, page
Something else.
9, under A, page 9,
A,
A, the second paragraph in paragraph
And I think neighbors are in a good
That's
position to know
for-
if a vehicle hasn't
I went
moved
too far.
in, 3 months
A
or
year,
6 months.
2 years,
Exactly.
yeah.
A. Right here,
3.
right,
So,
right here. This is what you're looking for.
yeah, I don't know what I did with it.
Well, you're welcome to read it from me.
So it says, property to it, described, located, whatever, but junk vehicle, defined but not limited to, partially dismantled, missing parts, wrecked or inoperative vehicle, flat tires, used as storage or absent current license plate. So, just because it might be missing a part, so that's, I just,
Well,
you have to be careful.
if he goes goes to somebody's
What
house
if,
and
what if
says-
someone is restoring that vehicle?
It's a conversation, and then it ends there.
That's why he has a conversation with him first.
Right. If something's missing a fender or a tailgate or a whatever, 4 tires sitting on blocks, oh, I'm replacing my tires, I'm getting them tomorrow, they'll be replaced.
Yeah, I can see if it's been unblocked for a month or,
Well,
you know,
there's an
6
issue
weeks, then yes.
Right.
Have a conversation. I know there's a vehicle right here on M52 that hasn't moved since I've lived here.
Mhm. Well, and
And
that's
it's been 8
probably,
years. So,
probably a
There we
junk
go.
vehicle.
but it doesn't look like junk just because, so that's my point.
Right.
Because it didn't move, it's a junk.
Mhm.
I don't even know, I don't know, I can't tell if it has a
Well,
license
does
plate.
it have a license
Valid
plate?
license plate.
Right. Mhm.
So it's, and I don't know if he's been there or not. I have no idea.
Mhm. I think I know where you're
And
coming
just
from.
to clarify, Bob, that whole description you just referenced is in and has been in the current ordinance.
Forever.
Forever.
Okay, my point of questioning, one, is just because we're human, right? I may not like you today, but I don't like you tomorrow, vice versa, right? We may not even know we're doing it. Just it's human, but it's,
And
we're
honestly,
interesting animals. You know what I'm talking about, you're a psychologist. But I don't understand why we're trying to eliminate as much, so that people have a little bit more voice in front of council. I mean,
Well.
since I've been on council.
The fact of it coming before council
Mhm.
is an irrelevant thing.
No, it's in here and we're striking
Well,
it.
that's what I'm saying, we're striking it
Why is that?
because
But why?
everything used to have to come before council
Right, but what? But why is that a bad thing?
because of the things you're talking about. Because there might be 3 or 4 people on council who don't like that person. So they're.
Well, again, to your statement, if an OEO is treating people that way, then the
Then they're not
council
gonna have
person
that
should,
job anymore.
then the council person shouldn't act like that either.
Well, they shouldn't, but I can't fire them because they're elected.
Correct.
I can fire the OEO for
But
not
now
doing
it's-
his job right.
So again, now we're slippery slope, because as the mayor, you might like his decision, the next mayor might not. So that's all.
If it
It's-
goes against this Larry, I'm not gonna like, or Larry, Bob, I'm not gonna like it.
Tell me right around this, call me late for dinner. It's fine. I'm not opposed to the changes, I just wanted clarification why it's a bad thing to have a voice, be able to bring up something, a challenge to council. It's a valid point, that I might not like that person.
I want to open
But-
this can of worms, Bob, because that says that then if it's a junk sofa on somebody's front porch, they've got that same right to come, if following your thought process, they've got that same right to come before council. We don't have that in our current ordinance, and I'm not advocating that we put it in our current ordinance. All I'm saying is the committee was trying to get the junk vehicle activity to be treated as another type of nuisance
Okay,
within our city. However, we didn't elect to go to the extent of not labeling it on the vehicle. So the
Okay,
vehicle
so-
is labeled, and a junk couch would not get labeled,
Labeled,
but everything else we're trying to handle in the same fashion as we do any other potential blight in the city.
okay. Your point is taken, I don't disagree with it. I just feel like there should be some sort of last resort of step before going to a court that the citizen can take.
Well,
Maybe
then,
it's not in front of the council, but it's somebody who's, I'm gonna use this word loosely, impartial than the OEO and the person, a mediator,
Well, they
maybe
can,
a
they
better
could still
word.
come to council if they get that notice. They could come during public comment.
And just public comment, but it's not, it wouldn't be an official appeal like.
No, but they could come, they could give their public comment, and then it could proceed from there if you feel like you need to be involved or something, right?
well, I suppose they could, but the ordinance doesn't say the council can override the OEO.
Right.
No, we
So,
haven't.
I mean, they can certainly come and express their opinion anytime for any reason. That's, I hope, understood. But the ordinance committee, I believe, has done an excellent job over the last few years of clarifying the requirements to satisfy an ordinance or for an ordinance to be satisfied and
to clarify what the steps are for the ordinance enforcement officer to let somebody know they're in violation, to explain, to educate what that ordinance means and what it is, and give them a proper amount of time to correct it. And if it's not corrected, then a letter's issued. And if the letter doesn't result in it being corrected, then it goes to us. I mean, there's a whole process which is referred to in red on this paper.
I read that, but you could argue that 3 days or 5 days isn't enough time to get something removed.
I know
And
that
it may not
he,
get it removed, it
So-
provide in writing what the plan is to address it.
right,
Okay, so
yeah, he has worked with many people, giving time, allowing more time because of health reasons, vacation reasons, whatever.
whatever.
reasons, yeah.
So if we have that provision in our, I didn't read the codified ordinance of that one that it refers to. If we have that, then that's fine. Just, it's, again, it's slippery slope, it's hard to do. It's gonna be a human thing, and people are gonna make mistakes, and you're gonna have opinions. So just a way to appeal those things,
Yeah, absolutely.
right?
In the basic ordinance enforcement, it says the notification shall specify the violation, provide that the violation must be addressed. Doesn't say it has to be corrected, must be
Addressed.
addressed.
Okay.
Meaning corrected or at least some documentation as to what the plan is to correct it within 5 days. And
Okay.
it currently says 3 days, but because we may end up mailing the notification,
You
we
change it to
elected to
5.
recommend changing it to 5.
And it says 5 business days, I think, doesn't it?
It does say 5 business days.
Okay, you have satisfied my query.
And Bob, if anyone was to come to you and tell you, hey, I have this issue going on, are you not gonna come here and bring it to us?
I have gone to their house and see what they're talking about, yes. I have.
I think we all will like bring it up
So-
for discussion, so
I just want to make sure that,
I get what you're.
I know everyone takes this position seriously, and we're one voice for however many citizens we have in this city, right? So that's all, I'm just trying to be that
Absolutely.
one person that brings up the idiocy.
Well, that's fine. I asked why the city cared about Junction. It's fine.
Is there any further discussion regarding this ordinance that was just read?
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
I feel that when he does go to visit a residence about a junk motor vehicle, it usually comes from a complaint that we get in our office. A lot of the times it does. So just so you know that.
He came to my house, I was just curious. I didn't complain.
Oh, we did not. I didn't.
That vehicle's gone now, it wasn't junk,
Mhm.
but he did come to my house,
Mhm.
so.
Well, a lot of times we
That's
do get
fine.
complaints about that, so.
Any further discussion? If not, I'm looking for a second on that.
I second.
Thank you, come on. And looking for a vote now on placing that on the next agenda for adoption. All those in favor of that, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. And I think we have one more.
We have one more. Okay, this one deals with our sidewalks, basically inside of our ordinance for driveways and sidewalks, but the focus of this is on sidewalks. And it's come to light to the ordinance committee that we needed to have some proposed documentation in terms of financial responsibility for repair and or replacement of sidewalks as issues may arise. I move that ordinance amendment 403, chapter 1020, driveways and sidewalks, section 1020.03, sidewalks on newly developed lots, 1020.04, costs associated with repair, replacement of existing sidewalks, and section 1020.05, construction of additional sidewalks on previously developed property, which reads as follows, be placed on the next agenda for adoption. The City of Perry ordains, City of Perry Ordinance Chapter 1020, driveways and sidewalks is hereby amended as follows. 1020.01, permit required construction that has previously been repealed. 1020.02, annual inspection of public sidewalks has previously been repealed. recommendation for some additions. 1020.03, sidewalks on newly developed lots. Sidewalks are required on all newly developed lots and shall be built in accordance with zoning ordinance section 3.34. All costs associated with sidewalk installation are the owner's responsibility. 1020.04, costs associated with repair, replacement of existing sidewalks. The cost of repair and or replacement of any existing sidewalks is the responsibility of the owner of the property containing the subject sidewalk or sidewalks. Reference MCL section 103.2. All repairs and or replacements must comply with zoning ordinance section 3.34. Note, the property owner may contract the city's Department of Public Works or DPW superintendent to request a cost estimate for the city to perform the work at the owner's expense. The DPW estimate will include cost, including permit fees, and timing to complete with the payment due upon completion. The property owner may choose to hire the DPW to complete the work, hire a contractor of their choice, or personally perform the work. All work performed must comply with zoning ordinance 3.34. 1020.05, construction of additional sidewalks on previously developed property. All development of additional sidewalks on previously developed properties within the city and associated costs will be addressed in the future by resolution of the city council. Future sidewalk infrastructure will be in compliance with the city's master plan.
I have one question for you. I thank you for including the owner can do it themselves.
Yeah.
We just have to make sure that they're qualified. Additional sidewalks, can you clarify that for me? What does that mean? So if I'm doing my walk to the front door, my back door, is that what that is?
1020.05 you're talking about?
Yes,
Yeah, we're talking about those areas that we have within the city, Bob, that we've got a checkerboard, we've got sidewalks on some properties, we've got other places we don't have sidewalks, we've got some streets that don't have sidewalks, and really it's been an ongoing issue that, you know, in the master plan that we now have adopted, there's some, you know, reference to putting a plan together for what does the city want to do long-term relative to a sidewalk plan.
those issues, okay, yeah, because we have some streets that have no
We have
sidewalks.
sidewalks.
We have one side of the street and then it just stops. Yes, with our sidewalk.
We've got checkerboards of sidewalks and in the development that I live in.
I know, I was at the only ZBA meeting we had was somebody didn't want to put sidewalks in. And I said, well, if I could, I'd make everyone do it. So I'm sorry, I'll give you time to do it.
The point being, it's a big issue and it's going to have to ultimately come with a plan in conjunction with what we're gonna do with our capital improvement activity going forward as a city in terms of what we can and should be doing and what other cities have tried to do to address, because we're not unique in that regard.
Correct. I second the motion. Just one that's the one I didn't know what that meant.
We have a motion from Larry, seconded by Bob. All those in favor of that motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. Thank you, Larry, and the ordinance committee for doing such a great job. That takes a lot of time, I know. Larry takes all of the ideas and discussion from the committee meetings and puts them into a written form, sends them to the committee again to review, makes any changes, then gives it to Shirley, who sends it to the attorney to review, who might make a couple changes, sends it back to her. She makes the appropriate changes and then sits down with Larry and goes over it again.
We did
And
this
then
time.
again, and then it's here. So this doesn't come lightly. It's a lot of people, Mindy, Mike, and Larry on the ordinance committee. I sit in. Shirley is certainly very hands-on with all of this. And it's a lot of time and effort, and just the way that it's being done with all that Larry does to create a draft has saved us a tremendous amount of money by having the attorney not having to draft all that. So thank you again, Larry, for all that, and the committee. Thank you.
My questions are not an affront to the committee.
I understand.
It's not.
Is there any other business to come before council at this time? Council members, do you have any comments, observations, discussions? Kristen, do you have anything?
I do not.
Larry?
I'm good.
Kamal?
I'm great, thank you.
Mindy? Bob?
Other than when I brought up in our discussion about houses that have not been repaired since the tornado and things, that seem to be in some sort of construction.
There
I
is.
don't know what
yeah.
to do with those, because I'm not
Yeah.
involved in that.
And you're welcome to talk to me or to Rob Kehoe about any of that, because there is some ongoing stuff.
Okay.
That, if you're interested to know the status of that.
It's more being
Sometimes I
nosy.
think that we're just not aware that things are being taken care of, because I think our people are very good at being patient and working with the violator.
Yes.
And so we don't see that.
No. And feel free anytime, general public as well, but council members too, if you are curious to know the status of something, not sending an email to complain, but an email to, because there is one person here in the city that sends me a lot of emails like that, just wondering what's going on with, and I check it out and I get back with them, and I'd be happy to do the same for anyone, if you're curious to know what the status is on anything.
Or because they saw something on Facebook.
That I might not respond to quite so quickly, but the rest of it I certainly will. Any public comment? Any agenda items for the next meeting? We have these to come before council for approval.
Appointment for the I-69 corridor.
Oh, that's right. We do have someone who has volunteered to serve on the I-69 corridor, a new business owner here in town, Roy Liskey. So I'm excited about that. And we do have a report next meeting coming from the library representative, Jamie Cromley. She comes every August and gives us her yearly report, and she'll be doing that. School's starting soon, so be very supportive of the school and watch for little kids crossing the street. Anything else? Anyone? Then at 8:08, our meeting's adjourned.